biology tricks.
Welcome to the second part of bioremediation of pesticides. So in this video, we are going to discuss about the method and process used in bioremediation of pesticides. We are going to discuss about the process followed in bioremediation of pesticide. So we should understand the problem, exact problem of the pesticide, right? So we are using, for example, this pesticide. You imagine this is an agriculture area. So this box is an agriculture area, right? Okay. So we are applying more and more amount of pesticide to protect our product, or to protect the plant from pest. We are applying more pesticides. So the application of pesticides or over usage of pesticides will lead to leaching process, right? Leaching process. So this leaching will be taken due to the heavy rainfall, right? So due to the heavy rainfall, the pesticides which is deposited in the soil of the agriculture land will be leached out. So due to the leaching process, so all the applied chemicals will be taken to one place where nearby an aquatic area is present. So imagine it is an aquatic pond, right? So all the pesticides which is applied in the agriculture area will be leached out due to the heavy rainfall and will be collected in a nearby and a pond, aquatic pond. So in this aquatic pond, different types of biological organisms might be present. So starting from bacteria, phytoplanktons, zooplanktons, small fishes, and large size fishes, right? So these are the possible type of different living organisms might be present or might be living in the particular aquatic pond. Okay. So other than these living organisms, some other living organisms also indirectly connected with this pond or directly connected with this pond. So those examples are, so it looks like more or less it is look like ecodiversity class. For example, birds, and finally we humans, right? So it is like a food chain. So in this pond, different types of bacteria might be present because bacteria is everywhere in the world. It is also available in the air, water, soil, everywhere. So bacteria is present in the pond, and also phytoplankton, small minute plant-like organisms might be present in the aqueous medium of the pond, and the zooplankton also present in this aquatic medium, and also small kind of fishes and large kind of fishes or might be present living in the aquatic pond. Okay, so all these are having a food chain. So these organisms are interconnected, they are sharing the food chain, and these organisms are eaten up by birds followed by humans. So all the organisms are connected in the food web or food chain. Okay. So now we can come to our topic. So this is an agriculture area where we are using our pesticides. We are applying our pesticides here. So due to the heavy rainfall, so naturally heavy rainfall will be there in all the areas. So due to the heavy rainfall, the applied pesticides will be leached out and will be collected in the particular area. That is nothing. It is a pond. It might be a river, or it might be any aquatic stream. Okay. So that heavy metals or pesticides, whatever the pollutants, are collected in this aquatic area will be utilized by the organisms, because bacteria or phytoplanktons are having the capacity to uptake any kind of naturally available minerals and metals or any kind of molecules from the environment. So in such a way, so bacteria and phytoplanktons are able to absorb such pesticides from the environment, so that due to the food chain, the pesticide or heavy metals will be passed to all the organisms which are all interconnected through the food chain. So if the bacteria is obtaining such pesticides means that will be transported to phytoplanktons, because different types of plants are dependent on microbes for their activity. If you take an example, nitrogenous plant, right? Nitrosofactor, Nitromonas. So all these bacteria or microorganisms are useful to fix the atmospheric nitrogen to the plants, which is used for nitrogen assimilation, right? So some plants are unable to uptake the nutrients and minerals from the environments. In such case, so microorganisms are helpful to uptake the minerals and essential ions. So in such condition, the phytoplankton and small plants will absorb some pesticides from the pollution. So in similarly, the phytoplanktons are eaten up by zooplankton. So in all these food connection, the level of the amount of pesticide or heavy metal or pollutant, the chemical substances will be increased, right? So due to the hierarchy, the level of the or amount of the pollutant will also get increased. So it finally reaches humans, right? Okay. So before humans, we talk about birds. We know an example, birds are laying eggs and the eggs are hatched out to form a new young one, right? Okay. Okay, the eggshell of the birds or not any type of birds will have more calcium deposition, right? So due to the accumulation of high pollution in case of heavy metals or pesticides, such condition will lead to the reduce the thickness of the calcium, right? So it reduces the higher amount of accumulation of such pesticides on heavy metals will lead to the reduction of thickness in calcium of the eggshell, right? Okay. So due to this thing, before hatching out process, the birds, the young ones are being died. So due to this problem, birds population will be reduced, and also which will reflect many health disorders, in humans also, right? So this much problems and effects will be created due to the pollution caused by a pesticide. For that purpose only, the immediate working of bioremediation of pesticide is essential, right? So we will discuss the method of bioremediation. For any kind of remediation process, any kind of bioremediation process, we should select an organism. So which organism is apt for cleaning the pollutant, that should be selected. So in our case, we are using a microorganism, means we have to isolate a pesticide degrading microorganism. How can we decide a microorganism can clean up the pesticide, right? So it is very simple. So if you want to grow a microorganism in laboratory, means what you will give? So you will give a feed, right? So feed in the sense it is a nutrient, where it is nothing, it is a nutrient agar. So in nutrient agar you will add peptone, beef extract, so many things you will add that will provide nutrients to the microorganism, so that microorganism will happily grow in the environment, laboratory environment. So with the help of such technique, you can also isolate a pesticide degrading microorganism. So what you are going to do is nothing. So in nutrient agar, you are adding some kind of pesticides, commonly using commercially available pesticides you are going to add, or you are going to mix a small amount of pesticide into the growth medium of the bacteria. So if any bacteria will tolerate the presence of pesticides, means that microorganisms are called as pesticide tolerance. So there will be a meaning difference between tolerance and pesticide degrading organisms, right? So pesticide tolerant means any organisms which can sustain the presence of pesticide, that is called as pesticide tolerant. If any organism that is breaking down any complex, for example in our case pesticide is broken down into simple complex, means that is called degradation
of pesticide. So there such organisms are called as pesticide degrading organisms. So there is a difference between tolerance and pesticide degrading organisms. And afterwards we have to screen the pesticide degrading organisms. So screening, how it can be performed, it is also very simple. We have to give different concentration of pesticides to the organisms, selected organisms, and then we have to check the capacity and potentiality of the toxic degradation by the organism. So after onwards only the field trial will be completed, and the selected bacterial strains or microbial strains will be applied for large scale screening process. So for any types of bioremediation, there will be two possible methods. One is in situ bioremediation, another one is ex situ bioremediation. It is very similar to in situ conservation and ex situ conservation of biodiversity. So in situ bioremediation means wherever the problem is available, the polluted area, polluted site. So in that place itself, the problem will be cleared by using some technologies. The very simple bioremediation, that is called in situ bioremediation. Ex situ bioremediation means the polluted particles or soils, water samples will be taken to the bioremediation cleaning site, and then the samples will be processed. Such condition is called as ex situ bioremediation. So that is so called ex situ bioremediation. In that technique, excavation process is used. Excavation means nothing, so digging out all the soil samples, polluted soil samples. Then all the samples collected from the contaminated area will be taken to the ex situ bioremediation process. Thank you. Dear students, if you found this video helpful, just hit the like button and share this video with your friends, and finally subscribe our YouTube channel Smart Biology Tricks. Thank you again.
Smart Biology Tricks.